Under Indices 1, we treated the introduction to indices and we acquainted ourselves with the first law of indices when we want to multiply indices. And then we also established some concepts whereby we have numbers raised to the power 0 and negative numbers. And so we want to recap that and see how we can go about that as well. So basically, we will answer some questions whilst we go through that. So right away, let's remind ourselves that b raised to the power 0, we saw that is equal to 1. B raised to the power 0, we saw that it's equal to 1. So this is fundamental concept that we need to keep. So in the form of examples, we can say that 4 raised to the power 0 is 1. 3 raised to the power 0 is 1. Negative 10 raised to the power 0 is also 1. And then we also moved on to other aspects where we saw that maybe 5 raised to the power minus 2 also give us 1 over 5 squared. So the negative here became positive, and so you can write 1 over 25. Now we can also move on and say that when we have 1 over 2 raised to the power minus 3, then we can solve it this way. We'll say that 1 over 2 raised to the power positive 3, the same concept. So we shall get 1 over 1 over 8. Now, at this point, we need to simplify this. It's 1 over 1 over 8. So we look at the denominator, which is a fraction, then we pick the 8, because we want to clear this fraction to become a whole number. We shall multiply this by 8 and multiply the numerator also by 8. So we say 1 times 8, and then 1 over 8 times 8. So the 8 will divide. It means I haven't done anything to the fraction. So 1 times 8 will give us 8. Then this 8 will divide itself 1. This 8 will divide that 1. So 1 times 1, so we get 1. So the whole thing will give us 8. So when we have 1 over 2, always a power negative 3, when we simplify it, it will give us 8. So in the form of a recap, these are the examples that I want us to look at. Now we want to look at another aspect. First, let's look at this symbol called the square root sign. The square root sign. What a square root sign does is that if there is a number under it, we look for a factor of that number that can multiply itself to give us that number, and that number becomes the square root. So if we have square root of 25, then we say that we have 5 times 5. So the square root of 25 is 5. So the factor 5 multiplying itself will give us 5. So the square root of 25 will give us 5. Right. So we are going to use this concept to derive some notions. So we have 3 raised to the power half and 3 raised to the power half. And this will give us 3 raised to the power half plus half. And so that implies that 3 raised to the power half times 3 raised to the power half will be equal to 3 raised to the power 1. Now, when we get to this point, we can also say that 3 raised to the power half times 3 raised to the power half is equal to 3. Then we find the square root of both sides. So when we find the square root of both sides, we shall get 3 raised to the power half times 3 raised to the power half, and that will give us the square root of 3. So over here, because these two factors multiply to give us another result, this will give us 3 raised to the power half, and this one, the square root, will remain. So anytime you have a number raised to the power half, is the same as its square root. So a square root can be presented in this form. So we want to take note of that. And so we can say that in the form of example, square root of 9 will give us 3, or 9 raised to the power half will be equal to 3 raised to the power 2 times 1 over 2. 2 divided this, all divided, so we get 3. Good. And so that is another aspect of how we can use this one too. Now, the next thing is that we want to look at, we have 7 raised to the power 2 over 3 times 7 raised to the power 2 over 3 times 7 raised to the power 2 over 3, and that will give us 7 to the power 2 over 3 plus 2 over 3 plus 2 over 3. And that means that we shall get 7 raised to the power 2, because we shall get 6 over 3, and that will give us this. The next step is that we want to find the cube root of the side. So the cube root, it means that we are going to look for 3 factors that will multiply to give us the same value. So over here, we shall also, so the cube root will bring 3 here, and then we shall bring 3 there. All right, so over here, we shall get 7 raised to the power 2 over 3, and that will be this one. All right, so when we want to find the cube root of a number, it's always based on that is the denominator of the fraction that we have raised the number up to, and then this will also affect the power here. So the cube root of 7 raised to the power 2 over 3 times 7 raised to the power 2 over 3 times 7 raised to the power 2 over 3, that the cube root can be written this way. And it means that we can also extend this to any number. When we have the square root, there is 2 here, but we normally don't write it. So square root of 3 will be 3 raised to the power half. And then cube root of any number, maybe 5, will be written as 5 whole number 1 over 3. The 1 that is here is what we normally write there. Thank you very much. So we can extend this to a lot of them. We can get the 5th root, 6th root by replicating the concept that we have studied from the square root, cube root, and so on. When it's square root, we normally don't write anything here. But when it's cube root, then we write a 3 and so on. Thank you for your attention.